Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on 12 games in Fanatical's Rebirth Bundle of October 2023 to help you in picking your 10 games. By using the link provided in the description below, not only will you gain access to this bundle, but you also have the opportunity to support this channel. Your support means the world to me, and I genuinely appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Heroes of Hammerwatch, a hack-and-slash adventure game. Starring in the town of Outlook, you have made it your mission to restore the town to its former glory, using gold and ore found in local abandoned mines. Over time, it starts feeling like a randomly generated roguelike. You can create different characters with different classes, each class featuring different attacks and abilities. Your gold is shared amongst all of your characters, so you can experiment with the different classes. Combat is slower paced compared to other games in this genre, but it is still fun. It just requires more positioning and constant movement. Some enemies can be quite tiny and hard to see, so you may have to lean into your screen a little. You'll see yourself venturing into randomly generated floors, killing enemies, collecting gold and ore, and sending them up an elevator. Levels have hidden rooms, treasure chests, puzzles, bosses, traps, and wandering merchants selling temporary items. Levels are relatively small, so you won't be walking around with nothing to do for long. Besides getting XP to level yourself up, you can use ore to upgrade the town's facilities, which in turn will provide you with various upgrades. This game is a great roguelike. It is fun and will satisfy those looking for an action RPG experience. You can even go online to play with friends. At number 2 we have Force Showdown, a unique and intriguing game that combines various elements, creating a fresh and enjoyable experience. As a contestant in the intergalactic game show, your goal is to survive the arena combat, slay hordes of monsters, and strategically build your deck using cards. The game's narrative serves as a backdrop to the action, and it is straightforward, focusing on the gameplay. The card-based deck building adds depth and strategy to the game, as you carefully choose when and how to use your cards. The absence of checkpoints and the potential for losing earned boons upon death make Force Showdown a challenging and often brutal experience. Balancing your deck's potential with your skill is crucial for success in the game. One aspect that could be improved is the deck building process, which feels somewhat limited and slow due to the way cards are unlocked. The variety of available avatars is also limited, tied to the completion of achievements rather than in-game progression. One notable disappointment is the lack of multiplayer options, as the game's premise will be ideal for competitive or cooperative play. The current focus on single player may not cater to players seeking a multiplayer experience, but there's hope that future updates may address this issue. Despite its flaws, Force Showdown boasts a vibrant and visually appealing presentation. The graphics and controls are well executed, and the game runs smoothly on a variety of systems. The humorous elements in the game add energy, even though some players might not resonate with all the humor. At number 3 we have Roundguard, a game that is akin to a pachinko machine or Peggle, but with roguelike elements. Castle Springbottom is under attack. Your king has gone missing, and you have to go rescue him, defeating every enemy in your way while collecting gold. It's simple, and it isn't the main focus of the game. The gameplay may seem simple too, like a machine you find where you fire a ball and the ball rolls down from the top, hitting everything it comes in contact with. But this has a roguelike spin to it, and you have access to special abilities. You start by choosing a character class, and you'll progress through a series of stages, defeating enemies and smashing pots to rack up high scores and loot to grow your arsenal. It starts out as simply aiming at the nearest enemy, but as the game progresses, you'll need to think strategically on how to take on each room to better upgrade your character. The 3 classes available, Warrior, Rogue, and Wizard, all have different characteristics and abilities that will change up your game. Warriors are tankier, rogues can double jump, and wizards can cast spells. You'll build upon your character in each run, leveling them up to become more powerful and modifying your gameplay with different items, abilities, and trinkets, making it a bit more like a roguelike on a pachinko machine. If you want to change up your game, you can activate various relics that will make your game easier or harder in your pursuit of a high score on the leaderboards. The gameplay is addictive with a stellar presentation, and you will find yourself coming back for more. At number 4 we have Blazing Beaks, a roguelike game that rewards and punishes greedy gameplay. The story goes that the peaceful life of Beaks' world is unexpectedly disturbed by an invasion of monsters and beasts. The strongest and fearless heroes are chosen to blaze through the enemies and find the origin of evil. This game is challenging and unforgiving. Each Beak character that you can play as has different weapons, amount of health, and quirks that you can come to learn. As an example, the duck has much shorter range than other characters, but has 5 HP, while the penguin has a chance to spawn a copy of an enemy that it has killed, but it has a normal shooting range and only 4 HP. Each character you choose will dictate each of your playthroughs. The strange thing that you need to get through when you play this game is the dodging mechanic.
as dodge rolling is an active ability that you can swap out for other abilities, rather than something that is pre-built into your character's moveset. Although it may be weird at first, the straightforward designs of the rooms and manageable movement speed of projectiles and enemies make it worth trading it out for other abilities. This game has something called the greed system, where enemies you kill have a chance to drop artifacts that you can give to a crow in the shops. Each artifact contributes to your greed level. It is increased by how much danger it is to pick them up. They are basically optional modifiers to make the game more difficult, but the more difficult you make it, the more loot you'll obtain, like more items, hearts, coins, and sometimes even more artifacts. There are difficulty options, easy, normal, and hard. But even on easy, things can get very difficult with multiple modifiers through the greed system. This game is challenging, well put together with a very well done risk and reward system, and I would highly recommend picking it up in this bundle.
At number 5 we have Colt Canyon, a game that invites you into a pixelated Wild West filled with rapid cowboy shootouts, delivering a nostalgic and challenging experience. In contrast to the realism of titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, Colt Canyon opts for a 2D pixel shooter with brief dialogue and a shorter gameplay duration. Instead of mirroring the slow-paced cowboy life, it embraces absurdity, offering a unique take on the genre. The game's plot is straightforward. Rescue your captured partner from a gang using a 6-shooter and various abilities like dodging bullets. Colt Canyon thrives on its distinctiveness, incorporating elements like stealth kills, weapon discoveries, and explosive dynamite into its fast-paced gameplay. Randomly generated levels, bandit-filled landscapes, and the need for quick decision-making set it apart from leisurely Western experiences. As a roguelike, Colt Canyon ensures each venture into its sepia-toned world is different, with permadeath and a low health pool, making playthroughs short but satisfying. The gameplay's quick and precise nature distinguishes itself further, with the gratification of dodging enemies and executing well-timed shots. Boss fights add an extra layer of challenge, requiring strategic thinking and skill. While the game's high skill cap may deter some players, sticking with Colt Canyon proves rewarding. Unlockable characters, diverse achievements, and the option for co-op play enhances replayability. The variety in gameplay mechanics and the absence of a singular right way to be a gunslinger contribute to the game's appeal. In Colt Canyon, there's no time for scenic contemplation or moral pondering. It's a test of quick wits and sharp shooting to survive. Challenging yet far from dull, Colt Canyon offers an engaging Western experience. At number 6 we have Songbringer, an action RPG offering a blend of sci-fi adventure, new age philosophy, and 1980s aesthetics. It presents an intergalactic explorer named Rock, who crash lands on the ever-changing planet of Xera, inadvertently unleashing demon spawns upon it. Rock, armed with a nanosword and guided by his companion droid Jib, embarks on a mission to save his crewmates, vanquish the demon, and return to his mothership, the Songbringer. The game is procedurally generated, with players entering a world seed to shape the layout of Xera in each playthrough. Gameplay is reminiscent of the Zelda series, with exploration, combat, and dungeon raiding at its core. Rock's unique meditation abilities add depth to the gameplay, allowing him to regain health, interact with the environment, and engage in psychic communication. Collectible native cacti offer temporary stat buffs, and various materials can be used to craft weapons with elemental effects. While the game's lore and philosophy may be appealing to some, it can feel disconnected to others. The gameplay is smooth, featuring challenging boss fights and exploration elements. However, the 8-bit pixel visuals, while colorful and inventive, suffer from overcomplicated imagery, making it challenging to distinguish enemies and hazards. The game promotes exploration with hidden items and bosses waiting to be discovered, and it offers replay value with its adaptable map and permadeath option. Songbringer is a personal journey for its creator Nathaniel Wees, with a mix of familiar structures and indie design. It's a unique and unusual adventure that may not suit everyone's tastes, but it offers a peculiar and challenging experience that's worth considering. At number 7 we have West of Dead, a roguelike twin-stick shooter set in a gloomy Wild West world. The game kicks off in a bar, where no matter how deep you venture into the crypts, snowy wilderness, or the deepest mines of purgatory, you'll find yourself returning here upon death, stripped of your weapons and upgrades. Your character, a gunslinger, explores a procedural world with twin-stick shooting mechanics, a cover system, and tactical elements like stunning lights and loot charms. The combat in West of Dead evolves progressively, allowing you to learn enemy behaviors, weapon effectiveness, and strategic positioning. The game excels at telegraphing combat details, making it a reflexive experience as you seamlessly navigate cover, ammunition, and enemy patterns. The controls and visual feedback enhance the immersive gameplay, creating a fair and readable environment despite the permadeath feature. As you progress, different enemy types force you to adapt your strategies, adding depth to each fight. The game features currencies, iron and sin, which can be exchanged for upgrades or used to unlock items through a mysterious witch character, making future runs more manageable. The game's cel-shaded visuals, combined with a compelling atmosphere featuring Ron Perlman's voiceovers, create a captivating world that pulls you in. West of Dead balances challenge and intrigue effectively, making it an engaging and meaningful experience, despite the frustration of its roguelike nature and occasional camera issues. Overall, the game is a well-crafted blend of storytelling, combat, and atmosphere. At number 8 we have Valfaris, a heavy metal-infused platformer that offers a challenging and action-packed experience. You play as Therion, a skull-rocking protagonist on a mission to save his home planet, Valfaris, from the tyrannical rule of Thrall, who also happens to be Therion's father. The game's narrative, although lacking depth, serves as a backdrop for the intense gameplay and striking aesthetics. Drawing inspirations from classic titles like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Valfaris is a modern take on the retro platformers. The game features a smooth 60 FPS frame rate, ensuring responsive controls and an impressive visual style. Every boss battle in the game is a test of your skills and strategy, reminiscent of games like Dark Souls. These battles are scattered throughout the labyrinthine tunnels of Valfaris, offering challenging and rewarding encounters. The platforming segments in Valfaris are well crafted, diverse, and polished. You'll encounter precise jumps, moving platforms, and on-rails shooting galleries, each requiring a unique approach. The game's combat system is deep and satisfying, offering a variety of weapons and attacks. The difficulty is undeniably high, pushing your patience to the limits, but it keeps the experience engaging and rewarding. The game's weapon variety is impressive, with 19 unique weapons, each unlockable through boss fights. The process of defeating a boss and gaining a new weapon is highly addictive. Upgrading weapons with blood metal adds a strategic layer to the gameplay. Valfaris provides a challenging and fun experience, perfect for fans of classic platformers and heavy metal enthusiasts. Despite a straightforward narrative and high difficulty, the game's compelling combat and unique weapons make it a must-play for those seeking a retro-inspired, hit-banging adventure. At number 9 we have Golden Light, a very weird FPS horror game. You play an alcoholic writer and you have a girlfriend named She, and She has been kidnapped by a hand that came out of the ground. Now you must jump into this hole in the ground called the Gut to collect pieces of her meat and save her. Yeah, this game's weird, but it does also sound like the plot of Resident Evil Village. When you're in the hole, you must abide by the most important rule: nothing makes sense. Items around you could be a monster, traps are littered around the floor without clear indications that they are traps, and even the consumables are out for experimentation. You won't know what items you pick up will do until you use them. This confusion is also what makes this game so interesting to play through, because you're always guessing as to what is coming next. Will a computer screen suddenly turn into a grotesque monster and start chasing you, or is it just another computer screen? The goal is less confusing, as the core gameplay is straightforward in each level. Explore each floor of the Gut, locate keys, and unlock the next floor with said keys until you recover She's missing body parts. Picking up the last key needed to unlock the elevator will sometimes create a frenzy in the entire level. Bosses are also present in this game, but they can feel like damage sponges. They're also massive in size, so massive that they simply graphically clip into you as they attack. You don't need to actually fight them though. All you have to do is stay alive, grab the keys, and get to the elevator. In the Eternal Field, you can find characters, bonuses, and new biomes, if you take the time to explore it. Just be careful of those dreadful mushroom people. This game will have you second guessing yourself throughout your time with it, and with the lack of information to chew on, it creates a very unsettling yet intriguing experience. At number 10 we have Banners of Ruin, a card roguelike game. This single-player game combines elements of roguelikes and card games to create an intriguing gaming experience. Set in a world of anthropomorphic animals, steeped in political intrigue, the game thrusts you into a mission of revenge against a rival house that has wronged you. As you infiltrate their city, you must navigate through a maze of cards representing encounters, improvements, and challenges. The art and character designs strike a balance between whimsy and seriousness, enhancing the engaging atmosphere. Combat is a central aspect, akin to games like Slay the Spire. The game's twist involves multiple characters and lanes for battles. Drawing cards each turn and strategically allocating resources among your party members adds depth. However, the game's armor mechanics, where armor persists across turns, can lead to slow-paced battles, and relying on big explosive turns is less effective. This game features ruin cards, capable of altering the dynamic of the game. These cards transform usable cards, providing a trade-off between power and drawbacks. The game also challenges you with permanent character deaths, which can disrupt gameplay and lead to frustrating situations. While Banners of Ruin exhibits unique gameplay and distinctive design choices, it's not without its flaws. The slower pace due to persistent armor and the impact of character deaths might deter some players. Despite its imperfections, the game offers an enjoyable experience that sets it apart from other card roguelikes. If you're seeking something different within the genre, Banners of Ruin might be worth exploring. At number 11 we have Legend of Keepers: Career of a Dungeon Master. A single-player strategy game blending dungeon crawling and management elements. In this game, you take on the role of a dungeon master, protecting your treasure from invading heroes. However, despite its intriguing premise, the game's progression system and lack of variety hinder its overall appeal. Legend of Keepers flips the traditional dungeon crawling narrative by placing you on the side of monsters, defending against heroes. The gameplay involves strategically placing traps and monsters to thwart hero parties. Combat is simplified turn-based, focusing on monster skills and attack choices. Between dungeon defenses, you navigate week-by-week decisions to manage resources like gold, blood, and tears, crucial for strengthening your monsters. The game offers mouse-driven controls with intuitive mechanics. The visuals, primarily still images, represent events and battles, though lack of movement can make the experience monotonous at times. The game's sound design, although lacking distinct music in various sections, creates a moody ambiance that complements the dungeon theme. The strategy mechanics are simple yet engaging, preventing the overwhelming complexity often found in strategy games. One of the game's significant flaws lies in its progression system. As you clear dungeons, you restart from the beginning, leading to a feeling of stagnation and hindering interest. The game's lack of variety and limited pool of events further contribute to this issue. Despite the potential for enjoyable strategic setups, Legend of Keepers struggles to maintain long-term engagement due to its progression setbacks. Legend of Keepers: Career of a Dungeon Manager offers an interesting concept with strategic gameplay and unique monster designs. However, its progression system and repetitive elements detract from the overall experience, making it a game with potential but not without notable flaws. At number 12 we have City of Beats, a captivating twin-stick roguelite shooter. In the game, you confront an AI named Zeitgeber that has taken control of parts of the city. Your mission is to eliminate 3 orbs maintaining its influence before facing off against Zeitgeber himself. The narrative may be standard, but the writing and dialogue inject humor into the experience. The game's roguelike nature requires strategic progression, and while not as groundbreaking as Hades, it is commendable. The game boasts a neon-drenched cyberpunk art style, with lovingly designed characters and environments. While enemy designs often consist of geometric shapes, they serve their purpose well in the fast-paced gameplay. The standout feature is the rhythm-based synchronization of all actions to the music. Even the gunfire becomes part of the soundtrack, creating an immersive and aggressive playstyle that harmonizes with the beats. City of Beats offers strategic depth within the roguelite formula. You navigate a map filled with encounters and events, deciding your approach to each challenge. In battle, you can move, dodge, shoot, use power attacks, and unleash overcharges. Weapon mods and augments provide meaningful upgrades and customization options, enhancing your chances of survival. The game also offers distinct weapon choices, each influencing the music and gameplay. After each run, you return to the beacon, where you adjust equipment and spend green points on meta upgrades. The game skillfully limits meta upgrades based on progression, ensuring balanced gameplay and preventing overpowered builds. However, technical issues may arise for some players, including high frame rates without an option to limit them and potential startup crashes. Despite some design quirks and technical hiccups, City of Beats stands as a recommended choice for fans of roguelite and rhythm games. Its gameplay aligns seamlessly with the music, offering an immersive and zen-like experience. While the game is not without its minor drawbacks, its engaging mechanics and music synchronization create a rewarding and enjoyable adventure. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is really good for its price. The downsides of it are the fact that there are quite a few repeats in this. In addition to the fact that a few of these games are already sold out, it can get quite butthurt from missing some of them, like City of Beats and Force Showdown. Hopefully they appear in future bundles, and they might. Fanatical is notorious for repeats. In any case, kindly show your support by liking and subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to connecting with you in the upcoming video.